at the end of this presentation, we remain emotionally balanced intrapersonally and interpersonally. We will also learn how to apply the systemic transformational theory to positive peace. We will master the skill that will help us in developing our emotional intelligence and positive peace. And the last rule is to build and maintain an ultimate positive society. As I've mentioned earlier on, this course was a brainchild of Institute of Economics and Peace. The IEP is based in Sydney. Is a research institute. It's based in Sydney. The report they released this year is the 17th edition, which was as a result of a study over time of how communities are peaceful using some parameters and the terrorist level in some society and one other factors. Well, the outcome of their research actually produced three reports. The first one is the Global Terrorism Index, the second one is Global Peace Index, and the last one is the Ecological Threat Report. So one of the main crux of the IEP's research is negative peace and positive peace. By negative peace, yeah, I know this may sound somehow to us, but what they meant by negative peace is the normal peace you and I are used to. Normal peace. That is the absence of violence and fear of violence. Negative peace. But the institute went further that many people crave for peacefulness around them, but they are really not concerned about what brings about peace, the peace itself, those parameters, those indices that brings about peace. So in the course of their rubbing minds, brainstorming and research, they came up with what is called positive peace. If you notice, I'm wearing the cap positive peace, and the jacket here is also positive peace. It was the jacket we used during the election observation. As I mentioned, the IEP has been working in partnership with Rotary over time all over the world. So their understanding of positive peace is that those attitudes, those institutions and structures that create and sustain peace in the society, those attitudes, structures and institutions, you see, before you have peace, there will be some things that will be in place. Thank God in Kaduna State is a very good example. I think during the Governor McCarthy era, he set up a committee like that, inter-religious committee. I've forgotten their name now. Something on peace. Both Christians and Muslims, religious leaders, they come together. So they are the ones that are in charge of how to imbibe peace in Kaduna. I think that is what this positive peace idea, that is what the positive peace is trying to say here. That is those structures and institutions that brings about peacefulness in the society. So some of those factors those indices that were mentioned in the course of their research is that measurement of human well-being. If I can say that the measurement of human well-being in layman's language, you can say it's a mental health and how strong resilience you have within you, which is a social intelligence skills. Please, I've shared the PowerPoint with us. You can just follow me as I'm. So when they were coming up with this framework, in the course of their research and brainstorming, they came up with a systemic framework. They call it systemic transformational framework, which comprises of 8 indices. And those indices are, the number one is well-functioning society, that before a society will have peace, positive peace, there must be a well-functioning government. Number 2, there should be equitable distribution of resources. Number 3, there will be free flow of information. Number 4, there is a good relationship with neighbors. Number 5, high levels of human capital. Number 6, there will be acceptance of rights of others. Number 7, low levels of corruption. And the number 8 framework they have is a sound business environment. You are welcome, sir. The president of Kakuri. It's a pleasure. Nice having you here, sir.
Yeah, same here.
Thank you, sir. So, for the purposes of this presentation here, because we are talking about human relationship here, social human intercourse, we will only restrict ourselves with build relations with neighbors and acceptance of human rights. What this theory actually, this 8 framework, what it's actually saying is that okay, let me use the human functioning system. You know, in human system, we have the nervous system, we have the alimentary canal system, we have the digestive system. They all work to achieve particular thing, but that doesn't mean they are independent. They work independently, though they are autonomous. Their channel is autonomous, but it's not as if they are independent. They work with other systems to function. Like as I'm talking to you now, my voice, the voice you are hearing is emanating from somewhere. It's also a system. We call it pulmonary airstream in linguistics. As I'm speaking now, it's also using some structures that we use in eating. So that is how these structures work together. Alimentary canal work with digestive systems. If you study it forward, you will see that it has something to do with other system within us. So this is how, before you can have a positive peace in society, all these 8 systems have to work together. But for the purposes of this presentation, we will only restrict ourselves to good relations with neighbors and acceptance of the rights of others. Now, let's talk about emotional intelligence before we now talks about the linkage between positive peace and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability and capability to monitor one's own and others' feeling and emotion, to discriminate among them and use this information as a guide in one's thinking and action. Please let me take that again. Emotional intelligence is the ability and capability to monitor one's own and others' feeling and emotion, to discriminate among them and to use this information as a guide in one's thinking and action. The ability to identify our own emotion and those of others around us, to self-motivate ourselves and to know how to monitor our emotions and those of other people around us is known as emotional intelligence. There are 5 elements to emotional intelligence, and they are please let us be keeping tab. Don't forget, I said positive peace, but we are using 2 frameworks, that is good relations with our neighbors and acceptance of others' human rights. Please let's keep that. So there are 5 elements of emotional intelligence, and they are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. To break it down, it is when you are self-aware of yourself, that is when you will be able to regulate your action. That action will now motivate you. You will now be motivated, influenced. I don't know how to say it in the layman's language. You will be in Commander we say you are carried, you are highly spirited, you are gingered. It is at that point you will have empathy for others around you, to things happening to people around you. You have empathy to others' feeling. And the ultimate thing is that you will now develop a social skill to work in human gathering like this, to relate with everybody. Let me take those things again. The self-awareness, the first one. If you are self-aware of what you are going through, you will be in a better position to understand others and what affects them. It also means that you are aware of your strengths as well as your weaknesses, and when you experience anger, you will now hold a moment to think about what brings about this anger. Why am I angry? When you start having that discussion within you, intrapersonal discussion, that means you are self-aware of yourself. The second one is self-regulation. It is after you are self-aware of yourself, you can be able to regulate your action. Self-regulation is the next step when you think before you speak. If you can self-regulate, it will impact others in a positive way rather than a negative way. and you will always hold yourself accountable. You will not blame people around you for your failure. The next stage now is where if you have the power to have the self-awareness, to self-regulate, you are now motivated to always have a positive mindset. When you are motivated, you are always happy. You have a positive mindset to whatever happens. You don't blame people. You know how to overcome Achilles' heels, to find positive things in all negative things that are happening around you. You make positive. When you have a lime, you make a lemon out of it. Sorry, when you have a lemon, you make a lime out of it. Yes. And you always have a positive mindset that will push you consistently towards your goals. Even in adversity, you will always be motivated to push yourself to the edge in order to achieve positivity. And the fourth stage is after you are now motivated within you. It is when you can correct yourself, regulate yourself, you can now start impacting people around you. That is the point you now have empathy to others. You now have empathy, that means feelings. When you are able to put yourself in others' shoes and think about the situations. Because every successful leader should know how to empathize with others. You see, Mr. President, I'm sorry, sir. Maybe I don't know, let me assume that we are all Nigerians, if that's a safe assumption. You see, we are, as you mentioned before this meeting, we are going through a lot in this country. If you are not careful, somebody is bringing the problem from his house to the road. People don't smile around again. I don't know if you notice it. People are always frowning on the road. So it is what they wake up with, the stress of the country, house stress, home stress, work stress. So everybody is carrying it around. So I'm sorry to say this, you will see people are always prone to anger and disrespectfulness in this. I don't know, maybe it's a peculiar thing in Nigeria. People are always disrespectful. I don't know well, let me start example in Lagos. Those people they call Agbero. It is when they want you to join their bus to commute for you to come in their bus. That's when they will respect. The moment you enter, no, they don't respect you again. They will start abusing you irrespective of who you are. And that's what mostly brings about. Do you know who I am? Yeah. People will normally say that. Do you know who I am? Because someone will just provoke you, bring their own problem, but the moment you have that empathy, you can self-aware of yourself, you are regulating yourself. That point you are already motivated to know what people are undergoing. So you will always be on your lane. So when in case this man matches you and he's not ready to say sorry, so you know that this one is already frustrated. So you are already empathizing with that person. That's the first stage of emotional intelligence. And the last one is, if you can now inculcate those 4 levels, the last stage is you now have the social skills to bring people together. This will help in building rapport with others, which makes the relationship more comfortable. Social skills are all about communicating your point of view orally and paralinguistic. You must not always talk to people before you influence them. It may be your action. You may lead by example. It is what you are doing, not what you are saying. Some leaders will say, no, do what I say, not what I know. You have to lead by example. And this will not make you offend other people's sensitivities. Now, so let us now bring positive peace and emotional intelligence together now. Emotional intelligence for positive peace is the ability and capability of understanding and managing one's emotions and those around us. One's emotions and those around us. I don't know, maybe that is ringing bell. Let's go back to our theory, those 2 theories we earlier highlighted. That is good relationship, good relations with our neighbors, and acceptance of their rights. You see where they are now converging, so that there will be a cordial and amicable relationship in the echo circle. The EI for PP is the ability to identify, assess, and control the emotions of oneself, of others, of groups in order to strengthen unity and cohesion. This is a measure of one's charisma. Individual charisma is now the social intelligence skills, which is used to build network of friends and to maintain it over a period of time. It is the opportunity offering for cordial mutual interaction and ultimately for a peaceful coexistence in society. In conclusion, I would like to summarize this short talk by this parable. Let me put it as an advice. You see, we are all leaders here. A Rotarian is a leader, is a natural leader. So as we are a leader, we should always see things from other people's perspective. 5 plus 5 is 10. Likewise, 9 plus 1 is still 10. 2 plus 8 is still 10. So 4 plus 6 may be 10 in your own. It may not be 10 in my own place. It may be 7 plus 3. Likewise, that sign, if you write it on we don't have a board here. 3, M, W, and E, letter E. They are all the same symbols.
Yes.
I don't know, maybe they are all the same symbol. It depends on the angle you are looking at it from. It depends on when you are facing and the angle you are seeing it. So we should always see things from other people's perspective. This way, we will be able to see things from other people's perspective. We will also realize that your own way is not always the best way, or the quickest, or the most effective ways. So, let me quickly state some facts about emotional intelligence. A person with high emotion intelligence, that is EI, may not necessarily have a high intelligence quotient. Intelligence quotient here has to do with cognitivity, intellectualism, in the sense that in this part we have intellectual quotients. We have different types. In some class we have some students, they are brilliant students, some are intelligent, some are neither, but they are wise, smart. People like that, they don't fail, but they may not have the A's. So those are the ones with intelligent quotients. It's different from emotional intelligence. So the IQ too is also good, but it is not emotional intelligence. That one is set. It's you may be talented, you may be gifted to have the IQ, but that of intelligent quotients, you have to develop it over time, especially with age. There is this adage that says that wisdom comes with age, with staff. So another person with high intelligence quotient may not necessarily have high emotional intelligence, but someone who combines both emotional intelligence with social intelligence, that is the IQ, will always do well in life. If you can combine those two, you will always do well in life, and you will be able to manage situations better. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to my little rambling. If I thought I've said anything, thank you very much. Please, we will appreciate feedback and by way of reactions.